Hello there, my name is John Skumbourdis, also known as Johnny, and I'm the author of Grocery CRUD. This is my very first video tutorial, and it is just a quick installation guide in my local to see how easy we can install Grocery CRUD in our local machine. First of all, I want to point out that I have installed MAMP. So MAMP is just an Apache MySQL PHP for Mac OS. Of course, there are similar things in Windows. For example, WAMP is for Windows, and it's just a quick installation just to have PHP, MySQL, and Apache to your local machine with a quick guideline, and that's it. But of course, you can have your own configurations of PHP. I just wanted to make it as simpler as possible. So I'm just having MAMP with the default installation. So I didn't change anything, I didn't change any configurations. It's the default username, password. Everything is exactly like it will be when you will first install MAMP in your machine. So now we just have PHP, Apache, and MySQL to our local machine. You can see, for example, I have PHP MyAdmin, everything is included in the package, and I created a folder named Grocery CRUD Demo just to have a quick demo for you to see how easy it is to install Codeighniter and Grocery CRUD in your project. So firstly, we need to install Codeighniter to our project. So let's download Codeighniter first. So Codeighniter, download, checking the latest stable version, 2.2, waiting 2 seconds, and then we are just copying the files really to our empty projects. So now we are actually having Codeighniter in our project. It's so easy. So if you go to localhost / grocery CRUD demo, that it's the folder that we are pointing now, you will see welcome to Codeighniter, and that's it. So now we actually installed Codeighniter to our project. So we are ready to go to the next step and install Grocery CRUD to our project as well. With Codeighniter, it's really cool because you don't have to do any configuration. You just copy the files there, and there you go. You can start straight away. Grocery CRUD is the same thing. So let's install Grocery CRUD. So Grocery CRUD, download, and let's download the latest version. So we are waiting until the latest version will be downloaded. It will take a few more seconds just because it has some assets there, for example CSS file, JS file, some images, etc. But still it will not take more than 10 seconds. So now here we have our folder structure at our Codeighniter project, and this is what you will see when you will download and extract the folder of Grocery CRUD. So you will actually need only these 2 folders to know what they are doing. The other things is just like change log, example database, license, readme, file, etc. You don't really need them in order to make Grocery CRUD work. But these folders and what they are included, it's really important to know what they include and what do you need to have in your project. So for example, because in macOS the merge is different, so if I copy just application, it will just remove the old one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So let's just copy the assets file. So the asset is required in order to make Grocery CRUD work. And then let's see what the application has. So the application, as you see, it has a really similar folder structure as the Codeighniter. So we have the config, the controllers, libraries, models, views. If you are just on Windows, you can really just copy this here and it will merge the files. In macOS it doesn't do it, so we will go step by step and see what files we actually need to copy there. So we have the config file, we have the grocery CRUD PHP. So at the config, you just copy the grocery CRUD in the config file. And then, so this is one of the required folders. The second required is the libraries. So we are going to libraries and copy them to libraries. And then we have the views. So we are copying these to the views. So that's it really. So now these three folders are really important in order, sorry, the views was not a mandatory field. So the models was, so we are just copying the models. So these three folders, libraries, models, and config, these are the required folders that you need to actually copy in order to make grocery CRUD. These are just optional in order to show you just the example to see it working. So with these three folders, you are actually done. So now that we were actually copy these folders, grocery CRUD was installed. So now we are actually having grocery CRUD installed to our project. Now what we will do next, we will actually see how it is working. By the way, I forgot to mention, so it's important as well to copy the license, but yeah, it's up to you. So let's copy our license as well, just to know that it's open source, etc. Yeah. So let's go to the application. So these are the three folders that you actually need always to include to your project. So, but let's copy the controller, the examples one, and we've already copied the views. So now we can start with the examples that I have at the website. So I opened an editor. I'm using PHP Storm, so you can see the editor with the folder structure that we have at our project. So you will see at the controllers, you will see the examples PHP. So if you go to applications, controllers, examples.php, you will actually see the examples there. So if you go to our project here, by the way, I'm just clicking it just to make sure nothing was changed. So if you go /index.php/examples, you will actually see the examples page. Okay? If you don't know what this is exactly, you need first to read more about Codeighniter, but there's nothing, it's really easy. You just put this index.php and then /examples. So now we know that we are at the examples controller, and this is pointing to index. So this is exactly the same thing by doing this. Nothing changed. So yeah. So here is just an empty view. So if you go to the view example output, click here and see that this is just a view example that we added. So if you go to views example, you will just see that these are the URLs here and just an empty output. So these are the URLs. So let's click to one of the URLs here. So we are clicking to customers. Just to not confuse you, I will change a little bit the database to show you what at the most screen it will have. So you will have something like this. So you will have, sorry. So you will have an enable to connect to your database server using the provided settings. This is, when you first click to this URL, you will have this. So this is correct. We are at the correct path because we need to configure our database, of course. So now we are just gonna configure our database. So my database root, username is root, password is root again. And now for database, let's have the grocery CRUD demo database. We didn't create it yet, so we will probably have, okay, I've created by mistake, but let's remove it. just to show you how I did it. So grocery CRUD demo, drop database. So if you click here, you will just have enabled to select the specified database grocery CRUD demo. That's cool. That's fine because we didn't install yet our database. Okay? So let's do that from the very beginning. So let's create our database in PHP MyAdmin. So let's go here, create a new database. Now we have an empty database here, and we just need to import our database. So as you can see, when you are downloading grocery CRUD, you will see that I have an example database. So just to see it working, we will just install this database. So we are ready to go, we are clicking go. So now we are actually having our database. So here we have simple tables with IDs, etc. I have some data there just to show you. It's just a simple database really. So now if we go again to the same path, so let's go to examples and click to customers, you will see that everything is there. So customers, orders, products, offices, all the examples that I have, it's actually there and they are working. So that's the very first steps to actually see that grocery CRUD is working. What I mean when I say that it's working, it means that everything is working. You can see the CSS is there, you can see the themes are there, you can see that all the buttons are clickable and you can actually create some value. So for example, if I put here John's Burdies, save and go back to list, you will see that if we search here like John, we will actually see the John Burdies. So you can export as normal, you can print, you can edit, for example, I can edit the phone. You can see that everything is working. You can clear the filter, you can see that we have paging, we have view, we have delete, we have pretty much many things. And we have ordering, we have remove, we can see the remove here. And as you can see, you didn't even do anything. So that's how simple it is to install grocery CRUD. Let's have a more specific example of, let's say we have a table here. Let's say we have the film, okay? So we have the table film, and we need to create a CRUD for this. So we are just going to the example.php, examples.php, and we are creating a new function. So let's say we have public function myDemo. So here we just need to do CRUD new grocery CRUD output CRUD render, and then this examples output. That's the minimum that it is required in order to make it work. Of course, you can put the table, you have to put it actually. So set table film, the table name is film. So you can start like this. Everything that I'm telling you is at the website. So if you go to grocerycrud.com, you can see the installation guide. Here you can see installation for Codeighniter, and you can see the newbies grocery CRUD tutorial. That this was created by me just to make sure that even if you haven't used Codeighniter before, you can easily add grocery CRUD to your project. It doesn't really matter. You can start straight away. We have Spanish, we have it in Spanish, we have it in Russian, we have it in French, we will have it in Greek. Shame on me because I'm Greek, but we will have it at the future, I hope. And yeah, so let's continue. And you can see the examples. For example, you can use the simplest examples. And here we can see, you can just copy the code really. So here we could do something else, or we could just copy the code and just change the set table name to film. It doesn't really matter how you will do it, but at the end it will just work. So let's see, we have my demo here. So let's point it to my demo. So examples, my demo. And that's it. So now you have the film. As you didn't specify the columns, it will take all the fields that you have in the database. So as you can see, it automatically created everything that you actually have in your database. So it actually created the fields with a nicer name. For example, it has the uppercase at the beginning, it has everything. But you can, of course, change that. For example, we can just add 2 columns, so you can have column title and description. So now we just have 2 columns. So if we refresh it, we can see 2 columns, and everything is working. Everything is just working without adding anything else. As you can see here, we have the title, we have the description, it is text, it's transformed into full text. Here we have number, for example. Here we have float. Here we have enum, we have date. Everything was automatically configured without doing anything. You just need to actually change the structure here and put like enum, set, timestamp, and everything will work automatically. So for example, here, this was set. So set, you can add multiple fields. Here, this was enum. So enum, it was translated to drop-down list. Here, this was timestamp. Timestamp has a calendar now. And everything was created. So all the JavaScript code, all the CSS code, everything, it was just created like a magic. So this is why Grocery CRUD, it's really awesome, and it's really easy to use it. So yeah, let's go back here. Let's edit something just to see that it's working. So yeah, it's working. And yeah, so now we have our very first demo to see how easy Grocery CRUD is. Of course, if you have any questions, you can, first of all, you can actually read the documentation and see. I think everything is there. However, if you have any questions, you can go to forum, and at the forum there is a huge community. Now there are like 2,000 members, and there is always somebody to pick up the question and answer to you. Of course, you have to be patient. And for example, if you have an installation issue, you can go to bug issues and create a new topic. Oh, I have an issue in my local, I can't install Grocery CRUD. But in general, I make it as easy as possible, just to make your life easier, and create a CRUD like in just 30 seconds, as I mentioned here. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. By the way, this is my very first video, so please be kind with me if I messed up something. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you.